What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of this 3-video series I'm doing on buying a car. This one is going to be about buying a car from a used car dealership. Now, there is a difference in buying from a big name dealership, you know, like Faulkner, things like that, and buying from a dealership like a mom and pop secondhand dealership type of deal. So this is the second episode. The first episode I did was about buying a vehicle from a private seller. So if you haven't checked that video out, you can check it out after this one, or you can check it out before this one. But I will link it in the description box. Also, I'm going to put them in a playlist so you guys can go check it out as well. First thing, when buying from a secondhand used car dealership, check out the reviews for the dealership, because there's a lot of things that just by typing the company's name into like Google or something, chances are there's some kind of reviews for them online. Or if you know someone that's bought vehicles from them before, see how their experience was, that type of thing, because that's a big thing. You don't want to go to a dealership that's known for selling lemons or bad cars, or a dealership that has really shitty customer service, because you want to get a decent vehicle. So you want to make sure it's a semi-reputable dealership. Like, there's a handful of them by me, and the 2 or 3 of them, I always see people with their license plate holders on them. So I know they're at least decent dealerships. So I would recommend shopping around at those. But definitely look into your dealership, kind of see what stuff, you know, what reviews and things people are saying about them, because that's very important. You should definitely look into when you're researching the dealership is whether or not they're a buy here, pay here, or they're like a buy here and we finance you with the credit loan company somewhere. Because most of those buy here, pay here's, not all of them, most of them, the ones that you pay that specific shop the money for your car, they don't always report to the Better Credit Bureau thing. So if you want to change your credit report, you don't want to go to a place that doesn't report to the credit bureau because you want it on your credit report. So you want to go to a place then that has a credit loan place that they go through, or credit companies that they work with that'll loan credit to the people buying vehicles. Unless obviously you have really crappy credit and you can't get a credit loan for anything, then find a buy here, pay here. Chances are they might want like $3,000 down or $2,000 down. But they will get you in a vehicle 9 times out of 10, as long as you don't miss any payments, which is what that was. My $300 here, was it a buy here, pay here? It was like, I think $1,500 down or something. Definitely look into that. If you're trying to build your credit, you want to go through a place that has your credit loan options, where they get credit companies that lend to the people buying the vehicles. Otherwise, buy here, pay here. Second thing I recommend doing, find out if they do CARFAX. Some of these dealerships do a free CARFAX. Not all of them, some of them. This lighting's ridiculous. So definitely see if they do CARFAX. If not, CARFAX is, I believe it's $64, and you get 3 CARFAXs, which is fine, because if you're looking at more than 3 vehicles, you don't know what you want yet. You know what you want. So definitely download CARFAX if they don't offer a CARFAX, because then you can see the history of the vehicle. You can see, you know, if it passed inspection, was it in a wreck, was it salvaged, was it anything like that, straight from the CARFAX. Also, while looking through your CARFAX, you want to check for regular inspections. It should tell you every time it gets inspected, especially who or where it was purchased, sold and purchased again. It'll tell you what state, that type of deal. But you definitely want to look for inspection. You want to make sure it didn't fail inspection multiple times. Or I've seen vehicles where it would pass inspection and then it wouldn't be inspected, or it would fail and then it would get exempt, and then it would fail again and then it'd get exempt, and then it would pass and then it would fail again. So then you know that there was some kind of issue with one thing or another that it would fail inspection. Now, that's not a guarantee. They could have failed for tires. They could have failed for, low brake pads or something. But do you really want to take that chance? Also, if you pull up the CARFAX for it, the most recent add to the CARFAX will have mileage. Okay, this is important. It'll have mileage. Match that mileage up with the mileage on the vehicle. Because there was one time I went to go buy a vehicle and I checked the CARFAX because they offered free CARFAX, and I found out that they had messed with the, because the CARFAX said that it had been inspected at 190,000 miles, right? So lots of miles, but the odometer in the vehicle had 102,000 miles. The VIN number was right, everything else, the mileage was wrong, which means they could have just rolled back the odometer to kind of keep you guys from getting proper mileage, which is bad. That's illegal. But that's also, had I not checked the CARFAX, I never would have known. Now, the third thing you're going to want to look at, after looking at the CARFAX of the vehicle, you're going to want to look over the vehicle. You want to look under the hood. You want to take a look at the fluids underneath there, check the oil, make sure there's coolant in there, power steering fluid, that type of stuff before you start the car. It's the same general process as when you're buying it from a private seller. You want to go over everything, even though it's coming from a dealership. You want to make sure you go over it. You don't want to just buy any Joe Schmo car. You want to make sure you're taking a good look at it. You want to climb underneath the frame. You want to knock on the frame and see any rust spots. You want to kind of knock on the rust spots, see if your finger goes through or your hand goes through, anything like that, because then you might not want to buy it. Okay, so fourth thing you're going to look for when buying a car from a used dealership is you're going to start it up after you check all the fluids, climb underneath, check that type of deal. You're going to start it up, see if there's any engine lights on the dashboard. Chances are there might not be any, or you might have one. Sometimes the dealerships have manager specials where they put a car for like 800 bucks. It has like a check engine light, an oil light, or whatever on, and it's like 800 bucks as is. Chances are there's a lot more wrong with it. Dealership just doesn't want to fix it. Wouldn't recommend buying them unless you're looking for a project. If you're a mechanic, be my guest. Go for it. But if you're gonna try and daily drive it, I don't recommend buying a manager special. It's not worth it. After you start her up, check for lights. You want to go back under the hood and you want to check for any leaks. Now that the engine is running, the fluids will be all moving. So if there wasn't any leaks or anything when you looked under before it was started, now there might be. You never know. So you want to look over the top and you want to go underneath on the bottom and check for any leaks, because leaks will go down. So if you see any fluids on the bottom, then chances are there's a leak somewhere that you can't see from the top. Alright, the fifth thing, and I can't stress this enough, guys, take it for a test drive, and take it for a really, really, really good test drive. Take it on the highway an exit or two, take it around a couple turns, make sure you make some left turns, some right turns, try all the turn signals and everything out, make sure all of that works. Also, if you pass one on your test drive, or if you know where there's one near where you're going to be test driving, take it to your local auto parts store and get your codes checked. That's another great idea while you're on a test drive, because a lot of the times those kinds of dealerships, they will reset the codes and hope you don't catch them until after you leave the lot, because then they'll be like, oh, well, it wasn't on when you bought the vehicle, but they really have reset the code, so you drove 50 miles and the light came back on. So find a local auto parts store, pull in there during your test drive, have them run the code checker just to see if any codes come up or anything. You can also have them check your alternator, your battery, and your starter while you're there. It's a great thing, saves you some money, saves you some trouble, and definitely will save you some time in the long run if you know if there's any codes on pre-buying the vehicle. So after your extensive test drive, and if you stop at the auto parts store and it doesn't have any codes, if it did have some codes or they tell you that the codes were reset, don't buy the vehicle. Unless it's something easy, like it might just say bad air filter, like you might throw the code for a bad air filter. That's like $11 at the auto parts store, and I did make a video how to replace your air filter, link in the description box. But go back, as long as there was no codes and all that and your test drive went great, Like, you want to feel if there's any shakiness in the steering wheel, you know, any like weird noises or creaks or anything while you're test driving. But as long as all that checks out, when you get back, so once you get back from your test drive, guys, you want to make sure you let the car run for 5 or 10 minutes after you get back. Pop the hood back up. Make sure you look for any leaks now, being that you drove it a little bit, you got up to speed, that type of thing. There could be leaks now once there's pressure on the motor and things start to go flowing. So definitely pop your hood before you decide. Make sure there's no leaks or anything like that coming from anywhere. And you don't smell any weird burning smells. That could be a sign you might not want to buy it. So another thing you guys want to look at that's very, very important is your paperwork. You want to read the fine details on all that paperwork. You want to know the dealership you're buying it from. Okay. A lot of times, and I've seen it many, many times, it almost happened to me one time, where they will tell you the car is one price, and then in the paperwork, they will charge you double the price of the car. They will add fees that make no sense, all that type of thing. So you want to make sure that you read the paperwork. This is very, very, very important that you read the paperwork, because they will try to rip you off. No matter what dealership you go to, they will try and rip you off in that paperwork. So you want to make sure you read through the whole thing, or bring somebody with you that is willing to read through all the paperwork, because you don't want to get ripped off. So another thing, when you're filling out your paperwork and looking at the paperwork, you want to make sure you get gap insurance. It's very important every time you buy a car from a used dealership and you're going to be making payments on it. Gap insurance. Don't say no to it. Don't say, oh, we'll get it another time. Get gap insurance. And for those of you that don't know, gap insurance is like if you were to total your vehicle, the gap insurance would cover the difference. So you don't have to make payments, you know, if they total out your vehicle, and the company will cover it. Which is very, very important, because everyone says, oh, well, I'm not going to get into an accident. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And then one day, boom, you total your vehicle. You opted for no gap insurance, and now you're making payments on something you don't even get to drive because they totaled it out. So that kind of sucks. Another thing, guys, that I recommend doing, once you decide on the car you're buying, you go through the paperwork, you do your test drive, all that type of thing. Once you go to leave, get the card of the person that sold you the vehicle at the dealership. Get their number. Make sure you have their name, their specific contact information in the event that something goes wrong, because then they're the ones you're going to want to get a hold of, because they know who you are. You don't want to call back a couple days later and get some random Joe Schmo. You want to talk to the person you spoke to about buying your vehicle. Okay, guys, so that's the video for you guys. Hopefully that was helpful for if you're going to buy from a used mom and pop car dealership. Those are all the things I look for, all the things I think to check when I'm buying from them. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see next. Let me know if this video was helpful for you, because I want to see if they're actually helping some people with these videos. Also, all my social media is in the description box for you guys to go check out. So make sure you go click on them: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. I do post on all of them daily. So if you're looking for daily content, go check out over there. Also, hit the subscribe button while you're here. And I will see you guys in the next video. Good vibes, good cruising.